Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. So, this just broke right now. I guess this is now going to be my new lead-in. Originally, it was going to be the Wrestlemania story, but apparently Andrade El Idolo just left WWE literally in the middle of me editing. Wrestlemania in Saudi Arabia is now going to be my second lead-in. We're going to discuss that in great detail. Mark Henry decides to triple down on the Roger Jackson situation, and Robert Martyr family loves double standards. So again, the Andrade El Idolo thing is literally ongoing as we speak. He just left WWE, or the information or the news just happened probably, I want to say 10 minutes ago. Like I said, smack dab in the middle of me editing. So if there's any updates while I'm still recording, I'll drop it in the end of the video. We'll see. But in the meantime, let's discuss Andrade El Idolo apparently just leaving WWE. Right, so this was dropped by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, where he said, Andrade is gone from WWE. Fightful Select has confirmed. WrestleMobs put it on our radar that he was moved to the alumni section and that he might be finishing up. Okay. Obviously, there's not much we can do with that little small information. As time goes on, obviously, I'm going to talk more about the situation in other videos. But I guess the best thing that we can possibly do right now is reflect off of Andrade and his run in WWE. He came back, I think, during the 2024 Royal Rumble, right? So he's been back for about a good year and a half or so. And, it's been a garbage run. It's been a garbage run. I mean, all these returns from Triple H's NXT Golden Era days, right? Coming back to WWE, maybe they think they can have a fresh start. Maybe they think they can have a fresh take on their run in WWE, considering that Triple H is in charge. The guy who was at the helm of creative when they were at their peak in WWE, more in particular NXT. I can see the reasoning from wanting to come back. Andrade, Aleister Black is another one. I can understand the reasoning for wanting to take a chance on WWE. The guy who more or less put stops or blockades in front of your career, or at least put the old proverbial glass ceiling above your career, or the proverbial brass ring that he keeps raising up as you're going for Vince McMahon, right? He's not there anymore, so let's give this another shot. Right? I think people need to understand, and this is not me making any excuses for Triple H. Like I said in the past, and I'll continue saying it about Triple H, he is a garbage fucking creative. He is a garbage booker. I will not stop saying that. But with that being said, when it comes to Andrade, people are going to sit here and say all these kind words. Awesome. Good. That's great. I understand. I get it. Right? You want to show empathy in a situation like this while it's starting to actually be ongoing, right? Never forget that as far as the talents that Andrade has brought to the table, what are they outside of what everybody else can do, which is wrestle. I'm pretty sure his Spanish or his English is getting better over time, but is it good enough to the extent where his charisma can be overvalued enough to rely on that? What I mean by that is, I understand there are some talents who have Spanish barriers, who have language barriers in general, right? It's not just Spanish. But because of their charisma, because of the aura, because of what they bring to the table, because of the it factor, the sexual appeal, it doesn't matter, right? They can overcompensate and they can get over that hurdle as far as the promos. Some people need promos in order to help, sell their character a little bit more. Some people need promos in order to, overvalue who they are as a performer, like an Enzo Amore, for an example, right? Andrade is as plain as they come. He's just another ham and egger for the most part, right? He goes out there and he has great matches just like everybody else. He's not special. As a babyface, I see nothing special in him. As a heel, he's another suit-wearing, shade-wearing heel. He's just not special. He wasn't special in AEW. He wasn't special in WWE. What do you want me to say about that? Dude probably is decent at speaking English, but is it good enough to cut promos where you can trust him to go out there and sell an angle? I don't think so. If it was, they would have done it already. So like I said, as news starts to roll out, we'll talk more in detail. You know, maybe I might take Andrade's side from a personal perspective when that time comes. I'm strictly talking from a business interaction right now. Like strictly this conversation in regards to Andrade being released or leaving, I don't know the context, is strictly based off of a business mindset. And from Andrade's perspective, he probably looks at his surroundings. He's probably reading the room, you know, don't know the extent of how much the Charlotte part plays a factor in regards to him leaving or staying. Again, we'll get more. That will be released as time starts to go on, obviously, right? Maybe he'll talk about it in some shoot interviews. You never know, right? But strictly speaking it from a business interaction standpoint, not just from WWE's side, but from Andrade's side, you know, he sees the writing on the wall. He sees the natural, what would you say, regression of his career as new talent starts to onboard, right? Not sure, like I said, of the environment as far as him being in the same spot, the same space, the same place as his ex. That could be super awkward as well. A lot of things that play into factoring what happened with Andrade in regards to his run in WWE. But what I can say, what I will say, in the end of the day, it's not worth it. Business-wise, I mean. It's not worth it on each side. Not just WWE's side to keep wasting money on Andrade, not getting back that investment, but Andrade's side also. Why keep wasting your time on WWE when they're not really doing anything with you? But like I said, as time starts to go on, more of the personal aspects will probably get out there and we'll discuss it even further. But with that being said, let's get into the original main topic of the video, WrestleMania.
Who are you waiting for?
My friend?
Listen, we know you're here to see an 11-year-old girl.
She said she was 12!
Joseph, we've got the screenshots where it shows that you've been sending her pictures of your toes. Joseph, calm down. This is already being sent to the police.
And today, we announce something that takes this partnership to a new level. So on behalf of His Excellency, on behalf of Nick Khan, WWE President, who was the driving force on this deal, I would like to announce that for the first time ever, WrestleMania will be held outside of the United States and Canada. In 2027, we are proud to announce that WrestleMania 43 will take place in Saudi Arabia as part of Riyadh season.
So this is what everybody's upset about, huh? Apparently we're still on this longing story in regards to Saudi Arabia and WWE and their relationship, and I'm just not hearing it. I'm just not hearing it from these people. I won't hear it from these people. You know, the amount of time that we're gonna sit here and play double standards with this issue is the amount of times that I'm just gonna keep refuting it, and I'm just going to keep sitting here and I'm gonna keep staring you dead in your eyes and saying that I don't believe anything that you're saying from a moral standpoint. Everything you're saying to me is just pure grandstanding. Everything. For most fans, let me say it like this: if you do have a problem with WWE doing business with Saudi Arabia, I want to see your Twitter account. I want to see your Instagram page. I want to see your TikTok history. I want to see anything in regards to how you carry yourself from a political standpoint, because clearly your problem stemming from Saudi Arabia, I'm assuming, has more to do with their human rights violations, right? Which is absolutely true. And this is not me standing up for Saudi Arabia. Absolutely not. Me personally, I don't really care. I come to watch wrestling. But if this is the hill that you want to die on, if you want to play activist, I want to see your history. Because clearly, we're not going to play Muslim double standards here, right? Right? clearly, if you're going after Saudi Arabia, I mean, obviously you're going after, Palestine also, right? Right? No, you're not going after any of their proxies and their human violations? Are we going to play this game? I see these people talk and I laugh at these people. There are some tweets that I actually seen from a couple of people. One being Greg Morgan from GoodMicWorks that I like to read for you guys. Here, check it out. He was saying things such as, this is one of those decisions, this is one of those situations where WWE won't give a single solitary fuck about any backlash. They know the pushback that is coming and they couldn't care less. They should book a Jamal Khashoggi Memorial Battle Royal. That's what he said, huh? This is dumb, greedy, and dumb. It's also dumb. Sure. No, totally. AEW should run an Elite-a-Mania the same weekend and give 100% of the proceeds to charity. Hold a men's Jamal Khashoggi Memorial Battle Royal and a woman's We Can Wear Whatever We Want Battle Royal. Are all of the indie promotions gonna fly over there and run shows? Gotta stand up for the indie promotions also, right? Gotta make sure to let them siphon off a very bit of your success, right? If you don't, then, I mean, what kind of person are you for not letting this person siphon off of your success? Wrestlemania at 10 a.m. Yeah, you can lick my balls. I bet money that Greg Morgan might work. I guarantee you that he's for Palestine, right? Mind you, I get it. I understand. No problems with the people of Palestine. I got no smoke with Palestinians. I got smoke with your government, but I got no smoke with the citizens, right? Just like I got no smoke with the Saudi Arabia citizens. It's not their fault. People want to see wrestling within that country. Why should they be deprived of that, Greg Morgan? Because of their government? Because clearly, if you have a problem with Saudi Arabia's government, then like I said, you should have a problem with the Palestinian government, right? Do you not have a problem with them stealing food from Gazians? Do you not have a problem with that? Have a problem with the human shields? Have a problem with them using hospitals as military bases, or not military bases, but just bases in general, underground tunnels, all that kind of stuff, right? Starving their citizens, right? Not going to be overtly political here outside of just this context here, but what I'm suggesting from these people is that if you have a problem with the citizens, that's kind of fucked up, I would think, right? But again, presumably that's not your stance. Your stance is against the government. So if your stance is against the government, then why does it apply in this direction, but not in this direction? You think Palestinian women are out there with their hijabs off? Huh? You think that's how that works? Do you think that's how that works? Huh? Miss me, man. Miss me. They play double standards, man. They virtue signal when they play double standards in regards to what they feel like they can speak on. It's a popular issue in his echo chamber to say things such as this. I guarantee you, I bet my ass, because I can't, and I know he can't, and I know the majority of the people who are speaking on this issue and virtue signaling over it, they can't. Let's go down the human rights violations that Saudi Arabia perpetuated, and let's compare it to the human rights violations of the Palestinians that have been suffering at the hands of the Palestinian government, at the hands of Hamas, at the hands of Hezbollah. Would you like to have that discussion, Greg Morgan? We can look it up simultaneously together, and we can go down the list of human rights violations. Let's see how they match up with each other. Would you say that 10% of the Palestinian struggle due to their government, and Israel, by the way, but also their government, do you believe that 10% merits them getting the double standards that you're perpetuating right now upon a Saudi Arabia versus them? Or is it 20%? Maybe 50%? Like, where does this actually lie? Where we get to actually call out the double standard narratives that you guys get to have? Oh, do we not? Huh? I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to get a bit of an illustration here, right? I just want to know where we get to continue to pretend to act this virtuous for one issue, but not another issue. But don't get it twisted, though. It's not just Greg Morgan. It's not just GoodMicWorks with these tweets. Of course, Milquetoast Solomonster has to come by, and he has to give his opinion also. One person said, first international WrestleMania is absolutely game-changing. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not true. Which then Solomonster jumps on and he calls him a bootlicker. A WWE bootlicker. I mean, I guess people having their opinions nowadays equate to bootlicking WWE. See, here's my thing. What if I say this? WWE absolutely fucking sucks right now, right? I am not bothered by WrestleMania being in Saudi Arabia, right? I think most of Saudi Arabia, as far as their government is considered, are full of pieces of shits who hate freedom of speech. And I see that they're progressing over time because they want to get in good with America. They want to get in good with Donald Trump. So they want to see more as a Western sympathizer or a Western ally. I get it. I know about the Abraham Accords and everything, right? I get that. But they're doing it for reasons that are pretty self-centered, like any other government in the world, right? You see how all those things can line up without having to strictly go by the protocol of what you pretend is actually virtuous, Mr. Solomonster? Again, and that's not the only tweet he actually sent out. Here's another tweet that he actually said also. Again, these people, these people, they're so... it's so nauseating watching people like this actually have opinions and pretend as if what they're actually stating happens to be the God honest truth. And if you were to say anything outside of that, well, that just means you're a bad person. He also tweeted this out. He said, and I quote, "Still waiting on the game-changing part of this announcement. Perhaps they're saving it for the end," which I agree with. I agree with that take. I can't sit there and lie, because it's like game changing in what way, right? Like, you can say game changing in the sense that it's negative. I guess technically it's game changing, but for the worse, right? And to be fair, let me also make note of the fact that the only reason why he responded to the guy, I guess the popcorn shower guy from earlier, who said the first international WrestleMania is absolutely game changing, I guess he responded to him. But it's just one of those things where it's like he responds and he says, just because you don't like it, it doesn't mean that it's not true. And then for, Solomonster to just automatically call him a bootlicker, that's the problem that I have with that. Is that you can even approach it in a manner where it's like good faith, like, hey, I think it's game changing, right? It's an international WrestleMania, which I don't think is even true. Would that even count as an international WrestleMania? I mean, Canada, or is it because it's in North America? What it mean technically is still, I don't know. I'd have to look that up as far as the definition of international. I'm kind of having a brain freeze right now, right? I can't think. Would Canada be considered international? I'm not sure. If it is, then I guess WrestleMania wouldn't be considered the first international, because obviously, you got the WrestleMania 6 and, WrestleMania X8. So there you go with that. But nevertheless, though, that's his perception as far as at least thinking that it's game changing, if it is game changing, because of that point. But, that's not good enough for some of these people. They have their virtues about themselves. I'm going to keep saying that word over and over again, because that's the underlying fundamentals that we're focusing on right now. Like, these people believe a situation, they believe a travesty is occurring because of what's happening within the country, without taking 2 seconds to understand the things that they probably sympathize with that's outside that country, literally across, like right there behind. Okay, it's right there. But they won't take the time to really consider those things because, hey man, surface level or approach level, right? Surface level or approach level. I mean, me personally, I look at this, I couldn't give two shits. I couldn't. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to pretend that I care, because I don't. I never cared, and I never won't care. WrestleMania is WrestleMania. If anything, maybe I might even be a little bit excited, because if they're willing to plunk so much money into this, you would think that WWE, they want to show the fuck out, right? Just because it happens to be in a location doesn't negate the fact that the show can end up being exponentially good. I mean, I'm not going to put an asterisk next to it because of my political beliefs. It's fucking stupid. You people are politically fucking brain rotted. But sure, human suffering, Jamal Khashoggi, ignore Palestine, because I know shit all about Palestine, fuck out of here.
Fuck McDonald's. I'm finna crash into it on my mama.
Dramatic crash at a McDonald's in Springfield. Miraculously, the driver was able to get out of the car without help and is recovering from their injuries.
TikToker Amigo Chino placed on house arrest for crashing into a...
They put me on house arrest, but if this video blow up, I'll cut it for real.
Mark Henry makes a complete ass out of himself yet again. And I quote, "Raja is very lucky Stu didn't die. I'm very happy that he recovered because he didn't deserve what came to him," Henry said. "I said that from the beginning, but it was such a short clip on TMZ that all people heard was, oh, Mark Henry said he got what he deserved." Just continue on. Give him the benefit of the doubt, folks. Let's do that. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Stu played a serious part in it. Okay. He didn't know the situation, so he lashed out and acted aggressively towards someone who can really fight. He didn't know. The end result is what you get when you don't have self-education. That's what he said. Self-education, folks. When I said sometimes you can bite off more than you can chew, I meant it. I bit off more than I could chew a couple of times. Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin. I challenged those guys and they beat me. But I asked for it. Stu didn't ask for it. Okay, what is it, bro? What is it? Make up your fucking mind. Does he have to educate himself because he's stupid? Or Stu was completely innocent, therefore he didn't ask for it? Makes sense, bro. But he ends it on this. I'm not siding with him because of his color. Yes, you are. I'm not siding with him or siding with the company because they did everything right. And I'm not siding with Stu because he was a victim. Everybody involved was at a deficit, and it's a horrible situation. There we go. So therefore, I don't want to look like a complete retard, and I don't want to pretend as if I'm being racist and taking the racial issue with the race that's involved because of the race. So I'm just gonna, backpedal just a little bit by telling you guys that, not really. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm a terrible person because I totally just sided with Roger Jackson in an unsideable situation because he's black. I'm actually going to side with Raja by not siding with him because I'm going to play the middle road. You ready for this, guys? Ready? Ready for this? Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm so ready. I'm playing the middle road. I hate him and I hate him. And therefore, I love Raja. You know why? Because I'm going to not put the onus directly on Raja like every sensible human being. What the fuck are you talking about? Seriously. I love Mark Henry as a wrestler. I truly do. I love everything about his career, going all the way back to the Nation of Domination. Fucking awesome. Love Mark Henry. Legend of the game. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, right? But the things that come out of his mouth, you sound dumb as fuck. Either that or your moral compass is completely out of whack. Again, did you watch the video, bro? Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video? How many times do we have to go over this? Stu apologized. Stu did not know he was a worker. Stu thought he was a worker. Stu found out he wasn't a worker. Again, Stu apologized. Raja shook his hand. He accepted the apology. He went over the spot for that night. Raja then, after being told to get a receipt from AJ Mana, sat there in the audience. He was then constantly taunted by people in his chat, by his own father, to do something stupid. He gave in to the peer pressure and did something stupid to a guy who apologized to him, and he shook his hand and said they were all good. None of this falls back on Stu. Not one iota. The one thing that could have fell back on Stu in regards to unintentionally putting his hands on someone was completely resolved when Raja shook his hand. Once again, what video did you watch? I'm very curious. The situation that happened with Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar, did you apologize? Huh? Curious here, who was at fault? If you were at fault, did you apologize? You bit off more than you could chew, right? Did you apologize? And even if you didn't apologize, did you end up in a hospital with broken fractures all over your fucking face because of that situation? No? None of this happened? How do I know? Because you're still wrestling? How do I know? Because you would have spoke upon it? How do I know? It would have been on television because that was recorded. Did people gas Brock Lesnar or Shelton Benjamin up to beat the dog shit out of you, Mark Henry? No, none of this happened? Really? Are you sure? Because you make it sound like all this happened to you with the way you're actually talking about this. And you triple down on the ignorance. Stop being prideful, my dude. Stop it. You look stupid with every time you actually have a take on this. If this happened to your son, you would be infuriated. If Roger Jackson took advantage of your son in that manner, you would be out of your mind infuriated, and you will want the fate with Rampage Jackson and Roger Jackson at the same time. And once again, I don't believe you when it comes to the race issue. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You make everything a race issue. Everything, every single thing. But when it's appropriate, all of a sudden you now want to take it out of context and pretend as if that's not the case. Oh, because it's you saying it, huh? Do the world a favor, Mark. Don't die on this hill. Go away. Do whatever you've been doing best and shut the fuck up. Because this ain't the best you. This is the ignorant you. Shut the fuck up and move on. Because obviously, this right here is troubling you. And it's troubling everybody else, hearing you being troubled. You fucking moron.
Yo, stop doing that.
Stop what?
Stop farting.
Stop releasing.
Yes.
Stop detoxing at the Detox and Wellness Center. Really?
And finally, we have Robert Martyr and his family speaking on him finally being found and people going after him because of his stupid fucking tweets. So apparently, Robert Martyr's family sent this, I think it was his sister in particular. For the people harassing my brother over a single tweet, please take time to reflect on yourself. He has never wished harm on anyone. He loves the people in his life. Seeing him being taken away to the hospital is something I'll never be able to forget. This makes me sick. So, as we went over either yesterday or the day before, I'm losing track of time here, this piece of shit, Robert Martyr, which we can say that now, he's not dead, and even if he was dead, it wouldn't negate the fact that even though his death would have been sad if he did anything, it still would have been a piece of shit move. Clearly, he was talking about Charlie Kirk, who unfortunately passed away after an assassination. He tweeted out not long after this, not allegedly, it was him, no sympathy. No sympathy. I actually went back at this guy who had the audacity to blatantly lie, because that's what they do. These clowns, they all fucking lie. They know they have nothing else better to do but fucking lie. This guy, Rob Spencer, I actually put this tweet out, I think yesterday. He said, from the looks of it, he sent this tweet before the incident. And while I'd stand by him if it was in response, I definitely imagine it was more self-reflective. All the love to your brother. So I responded to this guy because, I did my due diligence, which I don't typically do because I'm retarded. And I went out of my way to go see what time was that tweet posted. And then I went out of my way to go see when did Charlie pass on, right? Or when he was initially shot at the very least. So I said, no, he didn't. Robert dropped the tweet at 4:15 p.m. Charlie was shot around noon yesterday. He was in Utah, by the way. meaning around 2 p.m. Eastern time here in Florida, where Robert is also located. Robert posted no sympathy around 2 hours after Charlie was shot. Why did you just blatantly lie like that? Which is what I question, because this is all these people do. Like, I don't even know why you would lie like that. I don't even understand what you people are getting at. What do you mean? It has no connection with what he said. So you mean he just randomly just tweeted out no sympathy 2 hours after Charlie Kirk passed on, or at least shot? No connection whatsoever. You're gonna sit here and just blatantly lie like that. I guess it was all just a mysterious coincidence that he tweeted out no sympathy after he passed on, just randomly out of nowhere, a mystery wrapped in an enigma. You people are clowns, and you're going to continue to get clowned on when you make stupid fucking comments like that. And you know the worst part about it is, too? You know the worst part about it? Robert Martyr knows how much of a retard Robert Martyr sounds like. You know how? I know this because Robert Martyr had to come up with a plausible, or his family had to come up with a plausible deniability to excuse his retardation. People have to go out of their way to make excuses for those kind of comments even being related to Charlie Kirk. Because even if you don't like Charlie, you should understand celebrating the dead is all-time low whack. You realize you're a terrible human being. You realize you're a shitty human being. You having to make excuses for your behavior is full-on acknowledging that you're a shitty human being. You're way more shittier than you saying anything about Charlie. You and Charlie just disagree on policy. You actively celebrate the man who is now silenced because he can't argue back and forth for you anymore in regards to the policy that you advocate for. Because you're too fucking stupid to advocate for your policy in such a direct manner when you counteract what the hell he says. So you're happy that he's gone. You're happy that another voice is silenced that doesn't have to counteract any of your stupid fucking policy plans. Any of your stupid fucking, let's push this in legislation in order to get it passed. Because I need this 8-year-old to have testosterone and estrogen injected directly into their body. Because I need this criminal out on the streets after being released 56 times of a mental issue. Totally. Yep. Sure. Go for it. Have those thoughts. But understand, we're tired of your bullshit, and we're tired of you people constantly having to make martyrs out of yourselves because a guy says something terrible and therefore I have to go out of my way to advocate for violence, and I have to go out of my way and celebrate a person who went out of their way to kill him. Yeah, sure. And yet you keep thinking you're the good guys. You keep thinking that, and we'll keep serving you fucking consequences. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to how you feel about the video. How do you feel about Robert Martyr getting his just desserts? How do you feel about Mark Henry acting like a moron and triple downing on the Roger Jackson situation? We'd love to hear your thoughts about Solomonsters and Greg Morgan's tweets in regards to this whole situation with Wrestlemania being in Saudi Arabia, as if this is an actual situation. No, they just make it into a situation against just so they can grandstand on the issue. But that's just my taste. We'd love to hear your opinions. And what do you make of the Andrade El Idolo story as far as him leaving WWE? Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any conspiracy theories? We'd love to hear it all down in the comment section below. As always, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. A deuces and a pea ice.